Hi, my name's Don Harder. I'm one of the two managers of the transportation department in the Tahoe Truckee area. We currently run 40 buses, and I was approached 4 or 5 years ago by George Mismass asking if I'd be willing to install one of his products, an Oxitron, on one of our buses. And I could tell by George's attitude that he'd been turned down a few times. And when I simply shrugged my shoulders and said, sure, whatever you want, I could tell that he was a little surprised. And he subsequently had someone come up to my facility and install one of these Oxitron units on one of our buses. I didn't put it on a newer bus because I wasn't sure what it was going to do to the engine itself. We run Caterpillar motors, diesel. And so I had them install it on one of our older buses. And we ran this thing. I had an operator that drove that bus that was very conscientious, and he religiously checked his fuel consumption and his mileage. And I was actually flabbergasted when it started showing an increase of 30 to 40% of mileage, decrease in the fuel usage of 30 to 40% on the bus mileage. And we do annual opacity tests on our buses. We're required by the state to do the opacity tests, and I was also surprised to see that we reduced our emissions or the opacity on these buses by almost 50%. So I'd like to try one on a newer bus now that I haven't seen any negative effects on the diesel motor, which was my main concern. And I'm going to install one on one of my new buses to try it. And he wants to work with the Department of Defense to install these units on their diesel vehicles and gas. He's told me they work on gas motors also. I would love to try that on one of my old gas engines because they desperately need some help. This is an actual unit here. It's the real unit has a different metallic exterior. This is about the same size as the units we had in our buses. It hooks up between the air filter and the intake, and it's hooked up to an electrical box on the side of the engine compartment. It draws 4 amps. We never had a problem with our electrical system in the bus. This is an awesome little unit. It's very compact. It's easy to install, and it's quick to install. And it's made out of components. It's simple components. Swamp gas and mirrors.